first thing that people say to me is like, oh, what are you wearing? Where did you get that? Oh yeah, I made it. In a month I'd get like 100 orders. Let's say 6,000 Rand in that month. My mom started thinking, why not double the price? What they're doing with Balenciaga is like completely different. And there's someone who's gonna buy that. Like, if you think about it, like in as much as it might not be fashion to some people, but there will be a target audience. Like, why are you wearing flip-flops? Not flip-flops, like, yeah, flip-flops and skinny jeans. But if it's something where I'm making a client something and they tell me, okay, I don't like this and I prefer that, then I'm there to make the client happy. When it comes to what I'm wearing, it's fine, have a conversation, tell me you don't like it. But that means that you have an opinion. It stood out to you for you not to like it. It's okay to steal like an artist, but it's not okay to copy and paste exactly what someone else has done. Like, none of my pieces are mass made because I love the idea of it being a one of one.
Hey, my good people, welcome to another episode of Sounds Good Enough. Today I have a fashionista, someone who hasn't been on camera for a very long time. As you can see, she's rocked in pink and all the what is that called? The thing that
It's crochet.
I mean, like the pink thing.
It's yarn.
Yarn. Okay, I don't know.
There's different types, There's like the thin yarn, the big yarn, cotton, nylon. Yeah.
Okay, what's that one?
This one is more like a cotton fluff.
Cotton fluff
Yeah.
yarn. Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, I know fashion is becoming more and more difficult, guys. As we only wear a t-shirt and a jean and we're good to go. What does fashion mean to you and how does it relate to like your, personal identity?
I feel like fashion is who I am. Like, I started making clothes at like a very young age. Like, I
What's
used
very
to
young?
like 7 sketching these outfits, and my mom would always like keep the pages. And I remember there was a time when my aunt actually sent me a picture of like an old dress that I made. I was like, what? Like, this is so crazy. Like, I didn't even remember that. And it just means like a form of self-expression,
Yeah.
And being like an artistic person, it just kind of adds on to that personality, because I'm not someone that talks a lot. I'm very like quietish, kind of like shyish. So it kind of just brings out that part of me that doesn't really have to say anything. It's just like a statement. I don't have to talk, but you can see like my style is really dope. So like it does add that like touch to my identity and also like my artistry as a person. So yeah.
Okay. So you like to like disappear in your clothes and let your clothes be the ones that pop out more
Yes,
than
be the conversation starter. Because I feel like when I'm in a lot of spaces, the first thing that people say to me is like, oh, what are you wearing? Where did you get that? Like, and it's always like, oh yeah, I made it. And it's like, that's like the conversation starter to kind of like open up about, oh, how did you make this? Can you make that? And, stuff like that. Yeah.
Okay, you say you started making clothes at 7. Or was it like making or just
No,
like
so
the sketching itself?
it was mainly the sketching part of it. And then I went to a school that like really cultivated art and stuff like that. And I had a teacher that used to like crochet. And I was like, that intuitive kid was like, what are you doing? Like, what's this? And then she like took her time to like teach me how to like crochet. And then later on it came back to me, because it wasn't something that I was like actively doing. But later on, when I was like in grade 7, came back to me, I started selling scarves for money. So my mom would like tell her friends about it. And then she'd be like, okay, she makes this. And be like, oh, we want some. Then I'd make them for them, and then like started generating revenue from there. And then
you've been making money.
after that, I studied art, and then I kind of put the two together. And that's how I started Elaysia Crochet. And yeah, so I've been making clothes from, let's say, 13, but properly actually like putting the effort to put in designs that are more of my style out there, like only about 5 years ago.
It's actually interesting that you also started, because I feel like a lot of people, they have like hobbies in the younger ages that they could have made money from and they didn't, and like
Yeah.
later on it's a bit difficult to do
Yeah.
it, because like adulthood and having to pay rent and all these other stuff. But you made like, was it like decent money to
It was
even,
good. I
was
would
good?
say, like,
Yeah.
on average, let's say in a month, a scarf would be like $60, right? When I was starting off, I was like, let's not kill the people. Let's be like reasonable. So we started off at $60, and in a month I'd get like 100 orders. So that's like, let's say 6,000 Rand in that month. And then following up, my mom started thinking, actually, like, since you're taking so much time making these things, why not double the price? Make it 120. And then we started making more off of that. So it was like more similar amount of orders in a month. And then we'd like obviously get that revenue. And my dad was just putting in money into the stock. So I'd give him like a portion of that for like, oh, thanks for buying the yarn. So like, yeah, it kind of taught me how to manage money, but also how to find ways to make money. Yeah.
What do you think of the sentiment of people saying like fashion is no longer fashion? Like looking at, for example, like a Balenciaga where they make a skirt out of those dustbin bags and they sell it for like 10,000. Do you think like that's fashion too?
That's a really good question. So I feel like when it comes to fashion, it's self-expression. So we can't really say someone else's idea of what fashion is isn't really fashion. You get what I mean? Like, I feel like you can rock anything as long as you feel like it looks good and you feel like you look good. So I feel like fashion can be anything. Like, it's just about like a form of self-expression. Obviously, what they're doing with Balenciaga is like completely different. And there's someone who's gonna buy that.
Hmm.
Like, if you think about it, like in as much as it might not be fashion to some people, but there will be a target audience. I don't know if that makes sense. You know what I mean? It might not be everyone, but someone is gonna step on and be like, actually, I could rock that, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what I think.
Okay,
What do you think?
like
What's your
I just
opinion on
find it
that?
hard to like, for example, there's this other one they just released. It's like a skirt
Mm-hmm.
made out of a towel. So it's like
Mm-hmm.
literally
It's like anybody could
rolling a
do
towel
that.
and like a pin and then
Mm-hmm.
let's say like fashion and
I
they
think
put like a 10,000 tag on it.
it's a statement. I feel like they're trying to kind of make a statement more than it is them trying to be like, oh, we're making clothes. Because now we're having a conversation about it. You get me? Like, it wouldn't be in conversation if it didn't make the statement that they wanted it to make. So I think in a way it's marketing, it's propaganda, but it's working because the conversations are being had. And then there'll probably be someone who walk into the store and be like, I actually want that. Oddly. But yeah.
Don't you feel like fashion should be something that A, comfortable, it should
Mm-hmm.
be something that when you're wearing is comfortable, and B, it should just looks nice. It looks appealing, it looks I don't know, like I don't know, for me a towel doesn't look nice.
Appealing.
Yeah.
I think it's very much a perspective thing. You know, maybe if, let's say, for example, the dress that I don't know, the dress that Kim Kardashian wore to the Met Gala, the one that was Marilyn Monroe's, and she had to like squeeze herself into the dress. Obviously she wasn't comfortable, we all know this. She spoke about how uncomfortable that was, but at the end of the day she made a statement on the red carpet. So I think it's perception. It's also about, like, we all have different styles. Not everyone cares about being comfortable. Some people just want to look good and show out and let there be a conversation, whereas someone would rather be in, for yourself, like shorts and a top and you're good to go,
No,
you
I
know
wear other things as well.
yeah, no,
But
but I'm saying, like, right now you're comfortable. That's
yeah,
what you
no,
chose
yeah,
to be.
yeah.
Whereas someone else is just like, my aim is to be seen, make a statement, take a good picture, and let that conversation be had. So,
No, the fit
yeah.
must be fire as well sometimes.
Exactly. Yeah.
IG
Yeah.
picture, yeah. Yeah.
Exactly. But fire or not, if, like, people have their own understanding of what they want to get out of a look. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's not necessarily about it being fire. It's more about it being mundane. Like, when you go to the grocery store, you don't really care. Oh, I'm just getting milk. Let me wear my sweats. But if you're going out with your friends, you want to show off and show out. So I think the occasion also matters. Yeah.
Okay, I mean, when you put it like that, then I can see it. I can see it. I don't know
Yeah.
if I would rock a
A
towel
towel.
outside every day though. But I understand what
Yeah.
you're saying.
Mm.
Like maybe if you go into like a fashion event, that
Yeah.
would be considered as
And you'd be
fire,
like, oh, this guy showed up in a towel. Did you guys
Mm,
see?
mm,
Like,
mm, mm.
and he was wearing a sandal, or this girl was wearing a plastic skirt from Balenciaga.
Yeah.
Like, you know?
What are
Yeah.
like the fashion trends that you don't like?
Fashion trends that I don't like. To be honest, there's probably only like one.
Hmm.
Like, why are you wearing flip flops? Not flip flops, like, yeah, flip flops and skinny jeans. I don't understand the concept of that, you know? Like, I don't mind a skinny jean. If it looks good on you, yeah, sure, put it on. But flip flops and a tight snatch skinny jean, like,
Flip flops with socks or without socks?
both. Or wrong and Jay, like, it's a bit weird. Like, I don't understand that. But yeah, I think that's probably one fashion trend that I don't get, that I wouldn't
Hmm.
do. But yeah, I think that's the first one that comes to mind.
But doesn't it kind of contradict like what you were saying like earlier on in the sense of like
If you feel
that
good.
person feels like they want to rock a skinny jean and
But again, it's personal perception.
Hmm.
You get me?
Mm,
Like, in as much as you're saying, why would someone buy a towel from Balenciaga for like 10K? It's the same. Like, I might not mess with it, but if you look good, then good for you. You get me? But it's not something that I would put on. Like you said, you wouldn't be rocking a towel. You know, everything is very much perception, and also how, like, you as a person would feel in a certain outfit, or would want to be perceived in that outfit as well. Because it's always going to be, you know, a commentator or an opinion. So, yeah, like,
How do you deal with hate though when if
me.
somebody says like, oh, like that they don't like the things that you have on, like what is this? Why is it all fluffy and
What is all fluffy?
yeah.
Good question. I feel like for me, it's your opinion. But your opinion doesn't necessarily have to affect my world or my stratosphere or how I dress. But it's also a nice thing when you're a designer and you can hear someone's opinion. You know, for me, I think opinions when it comes to clothes that I'm wearing, that's fine. You can have your opinion. It's not going to affect me. If I feel comfortable and I feel like I look good, great. But if it's something where I'm making a client something and they tell me, okay, I don't like this and I prefer that, then I'm there to make the client happy. You get me? Doesn't matter if I feel like, oh, if I add this, is going to look great. You're going to
And
love
if
it.
they don't like it,
If
they
they
don't
don't
like
like
it.
it, we leave it out. But when it comes to what I'm wearing, it's fine. Have a conversation. Tell me you don't like it. But that means that you have an opinion. It stood out to you for you not to like it. Do you get me? It was like, oh, like, why are you? Yeah,
It
yeah,
aggravates
exactly.
them.
For you to have that opinion,
Yeah.
it means it brought the conversation forth. So it might have done a little something. There's no such thing as bad publicity, as they like to say, but it evoked a form of emotion, which for me is a plus. Because now you're gonna maybe check out my Instagram and be like, I saw her wearing this that day, and let me see what else does she wear. And you actually find out, oh, there's something I like on her page. Maybe she can make it for me, you know? So yeah.
Is there like no comment that can like take you out of your space where you feel like, ish, like obviously you eventually bounce back, but still feel like, why did this person say this?
It kind of like touched me.
Mm.
I feel like I'm a conversationalist. Like, I want to talk about it. Like, if you have a certain opinion about something, even if it's an opinion about me, I'd rather hear like where you're coming from. What is your perspective? Why did you say that? As opposed to just like being angry. Like, I think emotional intelligence is like very important. And in as much as someone may have an opinion, you need to also know where did that opinion come from. And also, what can I work on that person is seeing that I might not be seeing? Because in as much as we are people, we might not be 100% self-aware. Do you get me? So I'd always like want to maybe hear the other person out and be like, why say that? Where is it coming from? And then see whether it's something that I'm willing to like work on. If it's obviously, what do you call it, constructive criticism. But if it's not, then it doesn't really affect me. Like,
It's just their
It's
personal
just,
opinion.
yeah, it's a personal opinion. Like, it's not gonna like break me or anything like that. People have their own perceptions, and people say whatever they feel they want to say. And sometimes people say things that they want to say because it's an inner thing they have to deal with, and it doesn't really have to do with you. You get me? So yeah, that's how I am. I feel like, listen to the perspective. If it's something worthy to be worked on, work on it. If not, move on.
There's a lot of like brands that have been popping up in SA recently, and there's like a notion of like everyone is copying everyone instead of like pushing
Their
the
own stuff.
boundary. Like, what do you feel about that?
I feel like inspiration is important. It's okay to look at the greats, or look at, for example, Matkosa and all of that, and Tebe Magugu, which are really amazing brands in SA. It's okay to steal like an artist, but it's not okay to copy and paste exactly what someone else has done. You know what I mean? Like, I have a lot of clients that come to me and they see like a crochet piece from a company. I wouldn't say it's a big company, but like, let's say for Fashion Nova, for example, and they're like, I really like this. Can you remake it? Yes, I can remake it, but we're not going to copy and paste the exact same thing. We're going to mix and match parts of that outfit to make it more suitable for who I'm making it for.
Sure.
You get me? So I feel like, yes, you can look at other companies and look at what they're doing in the fashion world, but you need to learn how to steal like an artist. Copying and pasting is, yeah, I just don't support that. You get what I mean?
Just get inspired, but don't like jack the whole thing.
Exactly, because like now you're dealing with the lawsuits, you're dealing with someone saying you stole my design, whereas opposed to, you could have taken 5 brands that you really like and you see what they're doing and kind of be like, okay, I like this aspect of that, and kind of like, mash it together. I feel like that's also what people are doing in music. That's what people are doing in art. The conversations can be the same, but the painting won't be the same. You understand? So I think it's very important to steal like an artist, as opposed to copying and pasting other people's creativity.
I think you have already touched on this a little bit earlier on, but why crocheting though?
It cannot be replicated. There's no machine that can copy and paste the square that I just made right here. You get what I mean? I think for me, crocheting, it's a labor of love. You're taking a stitch at a time to create a masterpiece, as opposed to something that can just be machine made or handmade, like not handmade, but like made quicker. So every single piece that I make, my clients know that she actually, every
Took her
single
time.
stitch that she made on this, like, she took her time. And also, it like increases the value as well, because not everyone can crochet the exact same thing. You know what I mean? As opposed to, let's say I make hoodies and I go to a factory and be like, I want this hoodie, just print this picture on it. Yeah. And you can make that. Like, none of my pieces are mass made because I love the idea of it being a one of one.
Are they pricey? Your pieces?
I feel like when you say pricey, that's perception. That's perception. You know what I mean? Like,
Okay,
nobody.
to the general public.
Exactly.
To the general public, would you say it's pricey?
I feel like it's a good price for what I'm offering you. And at the same time, you're not going to have pieces that I make when you walk into an event. That's why people come to me. They say, I want to look good. I want to look different. Make this for me. Because, you're not going to get there and find someone wearing the exact same thing that you're wearing, And I think also price it's a perception thing as well. That's why we don't have Porsche in areas where no one is gonna walk in and buy a Porsche.
Yeah,
You get me?
yeah.
Yeah. So price is perception.
Prices, that's a tough one. It's a hard pill to swallow, but definitely it is, because yeah, you're right. I mean, we were talking about how yesterday when we were with my friends talking about like there's people who pay like 10,000 rand for petrol, and like that 10,000 rand for other people, that's like their monthly car
Exactly.
allowance payment every month,
Exactly.
And like someone would say like, oh, that's a lot of money, but to him it's like, no, it's just petrol.
It's a drop in the ocean for some people, I feel like target markets are different, and that's okay. If you can't afford it, then you're not the target market. Unfortunately, at that point in time, hopefully, when you get to affording it, then you're going to be like, okay, this is actually not that expensive. You get me? Same thing when people walk into Louis Vuitton and they spend 80 grand. Like, it's probably nothing to them. But to someone else, it's like, yo, 80,000. Like, So, yeah.
Yeah, talking about like things like your, let's say like your Louis Vuitton, right?
Mm-hmm.
Don't you feel like some people they use clothes to make other people feel bad to some extent, to to be more and make them feel less of, you know?
I feel like when it comes to that, like, why are you buying something to make someone else feel anything? You're the one that's wearing it. You get me? And if someone is feeling less of, then that's something they should work on themselves. And that's a hard pill to swallow at the end of the day. You get me? So, yeah, that's what I think. Sorry, I need to sneeze.
No problem. Okay, cool. So you also spoke about like doing art, right? Like you
Mm-hmm.
studied art, and I'm guessing like you were you studying like the stuff that you actually do, like the painting and the.
Yeah, so I have a bachelor's of fine arts honors from Wits. So yeah, I studied art. I sculpt, I paint, I draw, the whole 9 yards. I took that time to like cultivate my skills and kind of actually play. That's something that I wanted to do like for a long time because you don't really get that. You're not offered that time in high school to like do things that are different or to do things that are out of the box. So obviously studying art was a bit different. Imagine telling family members, what are you studying? I'm studying fine arts. Or you're gonna get a job.
Mm.
I'm not looking for a job, you know what I mean? At the end of the day. But I took that time to really like discover myself creatively. And I feel like it worked in my advantage because in as much as what I was studying art, it adds into how I think in like problem solving situations. I think creatively. It helped in like how I look at finances as well because you need to be a creative to find those solutions onto like how can I make this money back? How can I use the money that I have now to kind of create the things that I want to create? And also with outfits as well. Like in as much as I'm wearing this, it took creativity to create it.
Mm.
Yeah. So
Wow, that's interesting. So you guys also learn like how to sell and how to actually make money off. So it's not only just learning how to create the art itself.
So the curriculum does not allow that. It doesn't give you those things of like how can you make money in the industry, but it gives you the tools or the fundamentals of what it may take to get you there. So I think that was also one thing that we thought about like in university, like why are we not learning how to get into creative spaces? Why aren't we learning how to sell our art? Why aren't we learning how much like an artwork is worth? Because right now we just like probably slapping a price based off of perception because you think this is worth this much, and it's something that we really like wanted to be in the curriculum, but it wasn't offered to us, unfortunately. So as a person, I think like in as much as you are offered the creativity to learn things, you also need to take an extra step to step out of the box and see for yourself what it is that you can like do to help yourself sell the art or make money off of your art or your creativity. You understand? Because I feel like we're not offered those things in varsity. It's just a conversation. That's it. But you're offered the tools to make the art.
Okay, so
Hmm.
I'm trying to understand this. Like when you say you guys fought, in what way? Like was it like a thing that you guys created like a group to like go and take it up with the head of art in the university, or what?
So it was more of like a conversation and talking to our lecturers as to like, why aren't you guys teaching us how we can take up these spaces and monetize our creativity? It was more of a conversation that was had. We never really created a group. But then obviously later on, they started offering us like those extra things where you can like come through at the end of the day and meet this person who's in the art industry and have those talks for them to kind of give us, an understanding or an outlook of their experiences of how they monetized, their art. So that's when those conversations started happening. But it was based off of us, being like, are we ever gonna learn this, or are we just gonna like get this degree and figure it out ourselves? Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually a very good conversation, because sharp, you have the art, but we want the money as well, like you need to live at the end of the day. And then as an artist, like artists most of the time they hardly make money to begin with. It's like
Titled as struggling
yeah,
artists. Yeah.
struggling artists. And
Yeah.
now like if we're not even gonna have that conversation, like it just makes everything difficult. As a painter though, do you struggle with perfectionism?
Like, that is like such an amazing question, because it's something that I struggled with for like the longest time. Like, I even remember one of my lecturers talking to me like, listen, it's okay to let go of control. It's really okay. And I think I had like a series of paintings that I'd worked on called Theories of Chaos and Control, because there was like this thing inside of me that was fighting like the chaos and the control. So I was like, you know what, like it's time for me to let go of trying to be perfect and rather just drown in the chaos. And I think to this day that probably is one of my strongest or the best body of works that I've ever made, So
Because you
like,
let go.
yes, because I had to let go. Like if I didn't let go, then it was going to be a problematic 4 years, in varsity. But as like an artist, as a designer, I think perfection is important, to a certain extent.
To accept.
Yes, like you want to give the best output to your client. You wanna like make them feel good in what they're wearing. So in as much as I had to let go, I also needed to kind of find balance in the two. So yeah, I think perfection is important, but you also need to know when it isn't. Yeah.
For the people who are watching, who are interested and would say like, okay, we want to see your designs, we want to, buy from you. Like, what kind of clients do you cater to?
I cater to clients that want to stand out but look good, but also want a one of one piece, Like, I'm not really the type of person to replicate like someone else's work or anything that has already been done. So like I want someone who's willing to play around, but also I'm okay with clients that want to like stick to the box. I'm okay with creating for them, because at the end of the day, like relationships are also very important, because the same person that might have been strict, I want this specifically, could be someone that be like, I love that specifically, now I want to do this. You know what I mean? So like I cater to everyone as long as we're willing to play. Let's be creative, let's not be too rigid, but also if you have the funds. Not like big funds, but like if you have the funds, like let's play.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, in as much as people might say, I wouldn't wear this, there's someone who'll be like, I'd love to wear that. And I'm that person. Like if you feel like there's a piece that's a bit awkward and you want to make it and no one wants to make it for you, like come to me. Like let's play around and see like what we can create, And I'm also open to new things. I'm the type of person, even if I haven't tried something, like I'm willing to try. Let's see. There's a lot of outfits that I made and they came out absolutely amazing because I just took that leap to be like, let's try it out and see where it goes. So yeah.
For people who are, starting off their journey in crocheting and in fashion and in art, like what would you say? Like what would you tell them if like you had this opportunity to like learn while still starting off?
I would say to them, create. That's it. Create. Because I feel like we're all stuck in our heads on some, I want to make this, I want to make that. I have so many, like, I probably have like 4,000 pictures of things that I looked at. I was like, oh, this plus this, that plus this is going to make this. Did I make it? No, no, it's still chilling. But like, my thing is create. Like, don't limit yourself. If you have an idea, create it. If you have an aspiration, do it. If you want to start a business, create. That's it. Like, at the end of the day, starting is better than sitting there and just thinking to myself, oh, I wanna. Then it's 5 years later and you've been saying, I wanna do this.
Just start.
Just start, create, make mistakes, and learn from those mistakes. And lastly, don't make the same mistakes again. If you make a mistake, learn from it. Yeah.
No, thanks for coming. This was a very insightful conversation. For the people who are watching, make sure to check it out I'll put all the details in the description, but make sure to like, subscribe, and do all the good YouTube stuff.
Thank you so much.